Sports Matters TV, bringing the sports home. Okay, guys, welcome to a Sports Matters special. I'm joined by a good friend and, one of the elite, and I mean the elite fighters on the planet, Mr. Ryan Sheehan. Now, it's been a crazy 11, 12 months. I'm so used to seeing Ryan out running, preparing for fights and stuff. It's been different the last 11 months, guys. Now, obviously, there's still, a number of organisations, very little, that are doing stuff around the world. But for an Irish world champion, it's quite hard. It's tough times. But he's back on a mission. He's training hard. Ryan, first of all, how's things with you, my man?
I'm not too bad. Thanks very much, Jerry. All good. Can't complain.
It's obviously no surprise. COVID's kicked in. It's been almost 12 months. How devastating has that been for you? Obviously, Cyan Warriors. Obviously, Martin. It's crazy times.
Yeah, it's been 12 months since it's been nearly 12 months since Martin's last show, my last fight, like in Dublin, Capital One, Lion Fight, Lion King.
Yeah.
And it's been a tough time because we were kind of meant to roll straight into the year as every year, fight February, start of the year fight, do at least 3 fights by the summer, that kind of way.
Yeah.
But I was meant to defend my European title in Spain in April, or else it was May. I'm not sure on the date, but that was booked in in advance to prior 6 months, so that fight got cancelled. That was 2 fights straight away. I would have had that fight, and I would have had another fight as well in the summertime. So that was 2 fights there cancelled straight away.
Yeah. And
it's just been tough because there's been no signs of it getting back together anytime soon for a lot of fighters and a lot of sports and a lot of athletes and stuff.
Yeah. Obviously coming off lots of highs because we seen the last performances incredible. You know what I mean? Back to your best. Clinical from start to finish. It must be really tough, right? Because there was so many plans. We seen obviously your name, in brackets next to one championship. There was fellow elite stars calling you out as always because they love to know and they make a name through your name. They'll always call Ryan Sheehan out because they'll know first of all you'll engage back because you like a bit of banter, but it must be very tough. It must be very is it hard to motivate yourself knowing that not knowing what's going to happen next?
You know what? I was kind of at the start of the year, when the pandemic first happened, it was March. I just got the fighting, so I was kind of still hungry and I was still fit. But see, the pandemic wasn't after being as bad, so I thought I might still be able to fight in Spain. But obviously, as the weeks went on, it got cancelled. But yeah. I still had a bit of motivation coming into the summertime. I was still I'm personally I like to run. Running's kind of something I do just in general. That's kind of my hobby. Running is my hobby.
Yeah.
And I run long distances and stuff like that. So I kind of was all right. But in the summertime, there was no signs of any shows happening or fights happening. So that, I lost a lot of motivation. Kind of got lazy. And I suppose just the young fella just started hanging around just having a few gats with the boys on the weekends. But it's hard to stay motivated when there's no end goal. You train for 6 weeks, 7 weeks, full on, and then you have a fight at the end of it. All those weeks of training lead up to that one moment, but it's hard to train and then have nothing in the moment for it,
Yeah, it's as you say. Look, we've obviously seen the UFC is just about happening because obviously they're out in Fight Island, and that's what they have to do. Bellator aren't doing nothing. Obviously, one championship are kind of still dabbling, but it must be so disheartening, as you say. You're coming off big wins, obviously, world champ. It's your name's always in that spotlight, and there's big fights there for you, but obviously they have to be postponed due to the whole climate change. It's mental. It's just and I know Martin Horgan. His brain never sleeps.
Yeah, that man is always working.
Yeah,
always.
He's got so many plans, and we've seen little teasers, and I know he's trying to make something happen this year, but it's just it must be devastating not knowing how far along we have to go until it's back to normality.
Hopefully, Martin has a show booked in for the end of the year in the Tree Arena. It's a massive show. It's professional boxing and it's Thai boxing fights as well. So hopefully with a bit of luck, like he can get the show running and give everyone, the spectators, something to look forward to, and the fighters, like, because it'll be the first show back, and it'll be like, Martin shows are not small, they're massive shows, like, the fights alone, like, create a great atmosphere, and then, like, especially when you've your buddies fighting on them as well, like, it's a great buzz. So I'd say his show will be the first show back, and it'll be massive, like, it's boxing and Thai boxing, like, so hopefully with the luck he can get it on.
Yeah,
that's all I can say for the shows.
Fingers crossed it happens. Now, I always have to mention it, Ryan, but obviously your name is always linked to one championship. Personally, I reckon it's only a matter of time, but how impressed are you by the organisation itself?
Jesus, one is I keep saying to my friends, every opportunity I get, I say to people, this fight's on one championship this Friday, like, you have to watch them. And my friends, like, over here, like, if you're not in tune with, like, martial arts and combat sports, you won't really know ONE FC just yet, because, like, that it's more the age, the audience. But, like, where UFC is kind of in America and Europe, so, like, you could say UFC and everybody's ears will peak. You could say one championship and maybe people's heads will only turn so far, because it's just not over the side of the world as such yet. But one is by far the best organization. Like, the 70 kilo division, like, is stacked with the best strikers in the planet. Like, you've got some of the best names, like, even like you've Rod Tang, you've Liam Harrison's on it. Like, there's some great names on one championship. Like, and I'd be like, when you're saying to friends, like, who aren't involved, it doesn't register with them as much. But, like, when I say it to someone who's involved in combat, they're like, oh yeah, one championship is massive, like, because that's the impact it has at the moment. Like, it's just huge, like.
Yeah.
And hopefully there's a couple of fighters as well, like, who I've kind of crossed paths with over the years, who've kind of signed to him. So it is a goal. Like, I've kind of reached everything. I've reached my goals. Like, when you say goals, no, I mean, like, when I started off, I wanted to be world champion. I achieved that. Like, I got a world title. Like, I actually had to fight. I lost my first world title fight. So, like, the second one came around and I won it. So, like, I reached my goal. But then the WBC title is a title that everybody wants. So I had to make sure, like, I have to get a green belt on the list. And I got it. And now my new goal is just, like, I want to have as many fights as possible. Like, I want to be up there, like, in the 70s, 80 mark fights, like,
Yeah. And it's fair to say, obviously, when you look at that one championship roster, there's guys out there that you'd love to have a crack off, like, no doubt about it. You don't show
fight. Oh no, I like that. Like, I've had a lot of experience myself, so I kind of know my depths and I know how confident I am with myself, and I can compete at the highest level, which I have been doing for several years now. So when the opportunity comes around to fight on the likes of one championship, it'll be entertaining. I'll bring 100%, like, a game, like, all day.
I love it. And Ryan, how impressed were you with Sean Clancy? We've seen Sean Clancy out there. He's made a serious name, and his fight was remarkable. The heart, the grit, the passion he showed in that fight was immense.
Yes, Clancy's fight was classic. Like, he actually got fight of the quarter, I think, by one. And it was his debut fight. Like, he fought, I can't remember the Thai he fought now, but he fought, like, a great Thai, like, and he gave it his best, like, and he just came up short, but what a fight it was. Like, watching it, I was like, he nearly had it. Like, there was kind of moments in the later runs, like, where you were like, oh, maybe here.
Yeah.
But Clancy's phenomenal. He deserves to be signed to ONE. He deserves to have everything that he's achieved. He deserves, because I don't know anybody personally who's sacrificed as much and, like, just got up and lived in the dream.
Yeah. No, he's immense, and I must say he's just pure passion. Like, he's fought the best of the best. Like, when it comes to
Sancho.
Oh yeah, he doesn't back away. Like, and he's probably had about 1,000 stitches, Ryan, at this stage.
He's definitely over. I'd say he's probably around. He's definitely over the 100 mark. Anyway, he's always getting sliced up. But anybody who knows Clancy knows, like, he doesn't mind getting cut. He's the kind of fighter who get cut, like, and then he switches his gear. Yeah. I've seen him being cut loads of times, like, and it makes his fights exciting when he gets cut.
It does indeed. Now, speaking of all your accolades in the league, you obviously, numerous world titles, Irish titles. What does it mean to you to be an ambassador for Cork, for Ireland? And obviously, you're a Northside man like myself, obviously both from Knock and Healy, but how proud of you, like, you know, achieving all these things and setting the mark for our future stars today? What does that mean to you?
I like to look back at it and think I've had some great opportunities, like, because where we come from, like, not everybody gets to shine, like, and do things outside their comfort zone, you know.
Yeah.
But I love it. Like, the support I get from the north side is massive. Like, you know, I could walk down the street, like, and there's kids like who'll be like, "When's your next fight?" And that's something that you want to look back on when you retire and say, "Yeah, these kids looked up to the fights, and it might inspire them to do it." You know, so that's kind of what's kind of great about it. Like, people actually take the time out of their day to ask me about fights and previous fights and when's the next one, and you always got to take it on board, like.
Yeah, definitely. And I always admire your relationship with Martin Horgan, obviously, coach. You know, I always see the Facebook posts and all that kind of stuff. What does he mean to you personally, Ryan? Because obviously he's been iconic in your career.
And Martin's kind of a father figure as such, you know. He's kind of played a big part, I suppose, in my teenage years and my early 20s. And he's always kind of had my back. He tells me the right decisions, you know. Like, you could say might have my moments, you know, in fight camps and stuff, like, but he's always there, like, you know. He guides you through it, like, Martin, he guides you through it, like, and he'd make sure he might show you some tough love, you know, but regardless, like, he wants the best from everybody in the gym, you know what I mean?
Definitely. And last of all, Ryan, speaking of the gym, when it comes to the gym and the atmosphere, there's no doubt about it whatsoever that you're looking forward to hopefully getting back into them gyms this coming summer.
Yes. Yeah, hopefully, you know, like, we're back in the gym by whenever the restrictions lift, I suppose. April, maybe. Yeah. Is it? They're talking like April? So hopefully, like, April.
Is April, yeah, April or May. Obviously, schools, they want to get schools back first and then back to normality. But obviously, the vaccines are kicking in. The fear factor is kind of going on with small bit. So, with the help of God, April, May, and then, you know, a couple of super shows, July, August, September, October. No, like, Matt will probably do a show every month.
Yeah, he'll try and get as many fights as possible in, like, while he can, I suppose, because you never know, like, it could happen again the following month.
Yeah.
But, you know, it kind of sucks though, because there's a lot of sports have been put on pause, and a lot of people are getting affected by it. You know, there's a lot more people around. Like, if you were able to open the gyms, like, there could be 5 kids, like 5 teenagers training in the gym, like, you know, it's better than them being out in the street. Like, I think the restrictions need to be fixed.
They do. You're right. As you say, look, there's a lot of us suffering mental health wise, and you know, we're so used to our routines. We can't train. You know, we're in a 5K radius. It's very hard, and my heart goes out to all the elite fighters out there, especially yourself, because I mean, people peak, but like you're the kind of guy that would peak from a young age until you decide to hang up the gloves. If it's 20 years time, 10 years time, but like, I mean, as I say, we see your name mentioned next to one championship all the time. It's only a matter of time. Obviously, the super shows in Ireland, the Tree Arena will be something that would be unique. It's never been done before. Obviously, we've seen Bellator there in UFC, but to have pro boxing and Muay Thai the same night, and with Martin's brain, it's going to be surreal.
Yeah, like, he's going to have the best boxing fights as possible on, and like, he'll get the most exciting Thai boxers to fight on the card too.
Yeah.
Hopefully, like, that show goes ahead, I'll definitely be jumping on it. Like, I want to headline it nearly, like, you know, because
I don't see why not.
Fights, like, I'm the, like, most successful fighter probably in the country at the moment. Like, I'm definitely, like, up there, you know, even just out of all, like, martial arts, like I'm the only, like, fighter right now probably at my age, like, who has as many titles in the country, you know. Yeah. So, like, I want to be on that card. Like, I'd want a big fight in that card, because to cap it in and be loads of people at it, like, if it can be, like, that's something I want to be on.
And I love when Martin puts out the little teaser, right? The little teaser, little question mark, and we always see, make sure Ryan Sheehan's on the card, make sure Buko, the great Buko, one day he's going to bring him over. Obviously, we've seen Sanshai and all these amazing elite fighters, but it's only a matter of time.
I'd say Buko is probably out of the range. He's a lot of money, like, you know, he's thousands. Like he's expensive. Like I'd say to get over, and you'd have to get somebody to match him as well, who would be decent. So, but you never know with Martin. Like I'm not gonna rule it out. You'd never know with Martin. He pulls a lot of things out of the hat. Like he's always working, as you said. Like
he is. His brain never rests. And last of all, Ryan, just have to ask you, right? Obviously, it's been 11 months since we've all been able to train properly and stuff, but I know you're always working with younger lads at Siam Warriors, and it's probably hard to name out one, but what kind of guys do we need to watch out for? Because I know these guys are looking up to you, and I know you're working with them.
Finn Keaton. Finn Keaton is somebody who I've seen develop over the last maybe 4 or 5 years, and he's after like grown into his own fighter now. You know, people now talk about Finn on the cards because like that. Like he's only, I think he's 20 or something, and he's already making waves. He like last year he had 2 Irish title wins. You know, just off the bat, watch out for Finn Keaton. He's definitely one to watch out. He's after me. He's the next one in line.
And he could definitely follow in your footsteps. Definitely. You reckon he could definitely follow in them footsteps? Yeah,
he could definitely. He's already there. He's already there. It's just timing, the right fights, and he'll go where he wants to go.
I love it.
But that's for anyone. Yeah. Like a lot of fighters, like you just have to step out of your comfort zone, and that's for all the young fighters coming up. And every fight you get offered, take the fight. Don't go Googling it up and searching all this, because you'll only think about the worst. Like Martin used to just be like, there's a fight there in 4 weeks, do you want it? And I'd be like, yeah, do that fight. Martin be like, there's a fight in 3 weeks, do you want it? Yeah, where's that? France. Okay, no problem. Like, for any young fighter, get as much experience in as possible, because it'll stand to you in the longer run, like when you're trying to compete at the highest level, like, you know, you get the experience.
We've seen it. You fought in Grand Prix, you fought in front of, you know, thousands upon thousands against, you know, superstars like yourself. You've never ever shied away from a fight, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you on the 3 Arena card and many others this year, Ryan. It's an absolute pleasure, my man. It's been a long time since our first interview. Our first interview was over 4.5 years ago, and you've gone from strength to strength as always, my man.
You've seen it develop. You've seen it develop from the start as well. I was only like 18 maybe at that interview. Like I'm 23 now, so like there's been a lot achieved in that space of time.
Yeah, no.
And by the next time we do an interview, there'll be a lot more achieved.
I have no doubt about it, my man. Listen, look after yourself, my man. I'll see you. I'll probably go out running with you at some stage. You can.
You do. I'm always on the road.
I'll try and catch you.
All the best, bud.
Good man, Ryan. Thanks, bro.
Thank you. Cheers.